I appreciated that.
It's not as terrible as some people think.
I know themselves, right? I'm working on it, Mark.
Okay, that kind of gave us a little minute to get settled in. So, how are we today?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, our topic for the evening is wholeness.
Mm.
Do you have any thoughts on wholeness before I make my summary presentation? If you have any thoughts before, and then we can discuss after.
Well, we were made whole from the beginning, and then we got lost lost in the translation, so to speak. But it's a good feeling to work on that. It's for me, it's kind of work on wholeness, because I easily get distracted or back to the old habits. And I like what Mary did with us, with putting it in a box. And anyway, anything that can help you let go of preconceived. There in yoga, we call my guru used to call them grooves, because it's so ingrained that it's deep in you, and sometimes hard to spot. Just like Sunday, you said, recognize, look for what is it that's there that you can work on, to recognize it and to be able to let it go and replace it. That I like that very much. I am like God created me. I am God. I am part of that. So the wholeness of all that, and I love the idea of that. I have lately come to the realization of it's energy. It's energy. It's not the God sitting in the cloud. So I've come a long way. What can I say? I have to recognize that.
Yes, yes. Thank you for sharing, Rocio.
Oh, you're welcome.
Mark, do you have any thoughts on wholeness?
We were listening to Mary Reed again today. She was talking about her views on the pandemic. But one of the things that she brought up again was talking about we are whole, and in our wholeness, we think there's part of us that's bad, and we want that to make that bad separate from us. And so wholeness again is just integrating the whole person. It's like the same as the word holistic is the same, I believe, the same root as being whole. It's the complete picture, all that we are. That's the warts and all, good and bad.
That's true.
I like some of the things that you said, Beverly, a while back about we don't say we don't want to get rid of the bad necessarily so much as choosing what the results are. When we do things that we don't like, how do we feel about ourselves? And when we do things that we do like, when we feel that we're doing something good, then we have a much stronger, more uplifting feeling about ourselves. So it becomes a matter, instead of really when you're trying to get rid of that bad, you're not really at choice anymore, because you're just like saying, oh, I've got to do something about that. And really, when you say that I like what I did come from a good place, and it's a more holistic expression. I'm accepting the whole being of who I am.
Yeah, and I think on our discussion last week about good and evil, I just had a whole new level of awareness about even using the term good or bad. I mean, it's either in alignment with our divine nature, which feels good, or we're out of alignment with our divine nature, which feels uncomfortable. But there's neither good nor bad, actually. You know, it just is, as you were saying, Rocio, it's energy. And so either we're resonating with a frequency that's higher and feels more in alignment with who we truly are, or when we resonate with something of a lower nature, which we tend to call negative, it's not necessarily negative, it's just less of that high frequency. And therefore it makes us uncomfortable because our divine nature is always at that higher frequency. So when we're in alignment, when we do our prayers and meditation, then we're more likely to come from that consciousness and express that, which keeps our relationships and our life in harmony and moving well and in the flow. But yeah, I think I've really kind of had that moment last week there. I'm like, oh, there really isn't any bad. And what was that quote that you made? There's neither good nor bad, that except thinking makes it so.
That's actually from Shakespeare, Hamlet,
Yeah.
Act 2, Scene 2. I was just looking it up.
But I think that's very, very true. And I think that's a very high perspective, because any one moment in time, any one phrase, any one text or email can be taken multiple ways depending on the context. And we're human beings. And that human experience is what gives us that reflection of what shade we make it, light to dark.
Yes.
So I'll just go over a few little talking points real quick, and then we'll come back to discussion, if that's okay.
That's fine.
Because wholeness, it is from that Jungian shadow side, thinking about, our darkness and our light, and it's also the wholeness of mind, body, and spirit.
Mm-hmm.
So our topic, wholeness. So from Emily Katie's book, Lessons in Truth, I like this quote: "In thinking of ourselves, we must not separate spirit, soul, and body, but rather hold all as one, if we would be strong and powerful. Spirit, soul, and body, we think of them separately. We use different words to describe them, but just as you were saying, and we were just discussing, the more in alignment we are with our soul and our spirit being that Christ nature, and our body, which is telling us how we feel about what that vibe is that we're giving out or creating. And Charles Fillmore says in Jesus Christ Heals, he says, if we think of the body, the physical senses encompass all our existence. We're just thinking about the body, and I know I left a P out of physical. I have to correct that. If we think of the body, the physical senses encompass all our existence. If mind and emotion are cultivated, we add soul to our consciousness. If we rise to the absolute and comprehend spirit, we round out the God person.
That is very...
Go ahead.
That's amazing. I mean, I love the quote. We add our soul.
Yeah.
If mind and emotions are cultivated, you control your emotions. You control your mind. Like, you're not going to say whatever because you're mad, you're going to angry, you're going to...
You're not even going to have to control it because you'll be in alignment. When you're in alignment, you don't even have those urges to say something that might be harmful to someone.
I have to stop myself. If, like, I'm getting a reaction to something or somebody, and I do have to stop myself, not to react, but to go back. It's like to look inside for that alignment, and then I can let go.
Yeah, and that's being mindful, right? To notice, to pay attention to that feeling. So if you're cultivating, if mind and emotion are cultivated,
Yes.
that means if we're choosing, if we go into meditation, we take that time to get quiet, and we're cultivating that space, we add soul to our consciousness. And if we rise to the absolute and comprehend spirit, we round out the God person. I just love that. If we rise to the absolute, absolute meaning another word for God, the immutable energy, that force that you were describing.
Yes.
So it's called the Trinity of the humankind. The three realms of being. It's called the Trinity of the humankind. It's spirit, soul, and body. So spirit is in you, and you are spirit. It is the whole of you which may be expressing in part. It's the whole of you. This is from Eric Butterworth in Celebrate Yourself. This is a really great little book full of essays, and it's just a really good, easy read and full of thought-provoking ideas. But spirit is in you, and you are spirit. Just let that sink in. Like it's the whole of you, which you may be expressing in part. So God is all of us. We're not all of God, but God is all of us on every level. And then from the revealing word, Charles Fillmore says, soul, in its original and true sense, the soul of each person is the expressed idea of humankind in divine mind. Soul includes the conscious and the subconscious mind. So your soul is that energy that's moving through you. It's that conscious mind and subconscious mind combined. It's that expressed idea of humankind from divine mind, which divine mind also another name for God, that energy that is absolute, that's everywhere present.
Now,
go ahead.
Includes the conscious and the subconscious. Is that what we bring from other reincarnations?
That's that energy. Yes, the conscious and the subconscious mind. So you know how people talk about reincarnation and you come back in, and you know in the East they talk about karma. So if you've worked hard to cultivate your mind and you've been conscious and you've made conscious choices that were beneficial to yourself and to others, and you've been aware of your subconscious mind, which of course the subconscious mind is driving us, you know, but it can be changed over time. There are those effects that sometimes we behave in very unconscious ways because our subconscious mind is driving us. But the more we pray and meditate, the less the subconscious mind is in charge, and the more the conscious mind can make the choices that connect us with spirit and allow us to be moving and living and having our being from that higher point of view, that higher vibration.
Yes.
So that's the soul expressing. So spirit is absolute. That's the God within you. The soul, that expression of mind, that it's individual to each person. And that's where we choose. You know, spirit is spirit. The vibration of spirit is high within all of us. It's ever present, it's always there. There's never a time that you can be separated from that truth of your being, that Christ nature that's within you. But through our conscious choices, or sometimes influence from our subconscious mind, we get out of alignment with that truth of spirit. And that's when we feel that things are bad, or you know, we have disharmonious feelings. And the way to get out of those feelings are not to blame others or to point fingers or even blame ourselves, but to just take that time to come back to spirit. Know who we are. Know that we are that expression of God. Take that time in meditation. Do whatever it takes. Bang a drum. play the crystal bowls. Whatever it takes to get yourself shifted. because you can make that conscious choice to shift away from that disharmonious feeling and toward connection with spirit. And then the body of a person is the visible record of his or her thoughts. This is from Sue Seeking and Beyond a Miracle. So the body is a visible record of our thoughts. Just think about that. Because we know how stress and anxiety can create harmful physical illnesses, ailments, combined illness and ailment. And even the choices we make, the conscious choices we make about how we take care of our body. Do we move our body enough? Do we eat food that's high alkalinity and low acidity so that we're not triggering cells to create disease in our body? It's a visible record of what we think and how we choose consciously, and how much we allow our subconscious mind to drive us. I know right now so many people are talking about having this, extreme relationship with their refrigerator right now because of stress. And we can be aware of that and then make conscious choices to do something differently. But our visible record is our body, and it will show us exactly what we're doing with that. And then your body is the blossom of your mind.
Wow.
I love that phrase from Imelda Shanklin.
Hetty's there.
Yes, Hetty's here. Welcome, Hetty. It's the blossom of your mind. So your body is expressing what's going on in your mind. I know when I was younger, when I was 16, I had issues with anxiety. And my body was thin, and it didn't really have much shape. And, if I held my arms out, it looked like a rope with a knot tied in it from my elbow. I mean, it was just, but that was my body expressing the anxiety that I lived in every single day. And that's what happens. But the combination of the spirit, the soul, and the body, this is the wholeness that we're talking about, this complete understanding of that Spirit of God alive in us, we call our Christ nature, that our mind, the influence of our mind, being conscious and subconscious mind, that soul, and using our body as a vehicle. That's why we came to this earth, to have this amazing experience of being in a body so that our spirit and our soul could express.
Because I remember we are the individuation of God.
Yeah, exactly. You are that perfect expression of God in your own individual form.
Mm-hmm.
And then our personality that's our choices. That's exactly what we are talking about through our conscious choices and how we express our body. So Paul Hasselbeck has taken the old Metaphysics 1 and 2 books, and he's written a book called Heart-Centered Metaphysics. And he says, the absolute realm of superconscious mind does not change. Soul, including conscious and subconscious mind, does change according to the limitations and interpretations placed on divine ideas. The limitations and interpretations arise from the beliefs, attitudes, and ideas held in the sense or the personal consciousness, as well as the collective consciousness of humankind. So divine mind, superconscious mind, absolute, is immutable, does not change. But expressing our beliefs, whatever limitations, whatever interpretations of the world that we adopt and make our own, this changes and this influences that outworking into the world. That's why we talk about being mindful. We talk about becoming aware, awakening to this wholeness, to this fact that we're not just here reacting to the world around us. We are here creating the world around us.
Yeah.
That's the expression of wholeness that we all are.
Yes.
And the sooner we understand that,
the happier we'll be.
exactly, the more we'll understand that we have that power and that influence. And we get to make choices. And if we're not happy with our life for whatever reason, we can absolutely change it.
Yes.
So that was pretty quick description of
I was going to
wholeness.
say that sometimes when I'm doing something in the computer, it says, I'm not a robot. I think we have to remind ourselves, I'm not a robot. I'm not driven by my past, doing the same, going to the same place. You know, I'm God, godlike and co-creator, and I have choices. It took me a long time to know that I had a choice on my life, believe it or not.
Some people never learn that.
Yeah.
Some people always believe that they're the victim of whatever circumstance, because there are a lot of forces in the world that want to control us.
Yeah.
Family members, politicians, you know, there are all kinds of ways in which control is exercised over the individual.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of good reasons for that. You know, as a society, we want to have some rules and some guidelines about how to get along well. But there has to be a conscious interaction with that as well.
Yes.
So, Hetty, we've been talking about wholeness from the perspective of spirit, soul, and body being whole, from this expression that we have of God, that we've come here to be. Do you have any thoughts about that?
I thought that I have been pretty whole, but I realized today I can get very frustrated still.
I never do that, Hetty.
There's plenty of opportunity these days to feel frustrated.
And usually it's when I get information on a computer and we're supposed to look up information and I do not know how. And if I try, I go round and round and round and still they don't answer.
I hear you, Hetty.
That is frustrating, to go round and round and round.
Yeah, and so I go and call the telephone, by the telephone. However, I had been waiting on the telephone probably 3 hours today to finally get done what I want to do.
Oh my
So
goodness.
that was frustrating.
I'm sure.
3 hours is a long time.
I know.
Yes. I waited on the phone on hold for over an hour a few weeks back when I needed to cancel a hotel reservation. And it, you know, he was doing the best he could. So I tried to be kind with him, but yeah, it's.
My telephone companies sent me my bill or my statement internet. And I told them I needed my paper copies. But to get that, that I had to call them again. And then I finally got somebody after an hour and a half.
Oh my goodness, just to switch
And
back
he
to
said,
paper
I
billing.
have to transfer you to another department. I said, I hope I don't have to wait another hour. And it was, but I finally got it done. They finally went, I hope so, went to send me my statements again.
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm sure they will. I'm sure that they've updated it for you.
But Hedy, I love that you laugh about it. You laugh about it, so that's a good sign.
After I was waiting, I got pretty frustrated, and then I had to tell myself, why do you get frustrated about it?
Yes,
I
yes,
might as well sit and relax, but it's hard to do.
it is, definitely.
But what an important awareness, Hedy. I mean, that's really to notice that you're frustrated and not to make it about them, that it's a feeling you're having, right? I'm feeling frustrated, and for good reason. But then make a choice. I feel this frustration, but I'm not going to keep it, I think that's what sometimes people don't realize. We can have unlimited numbers of emotions, in any given moment. They can I have all the feelings all the time. I have very intense feelings. But if we get hung up on one of them and we need to keep going back to that feeling, we're only harming ourselves.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah. And that slide that we were just looking at, that the body is the blossom of the mind, right? So if you let too much frustration hang around, then you can start feeling aches and pains and, get stiff. And just by holding on to that energy, and instead of doing something, whatever you did, you probably did some yoga or something. You did something to shift yourself, right?
The breathing, the breathing is right there.
It is.
You. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
I've noticed sometimes, especially when we first had to shut the building and go online and do all these things, I just felt a lot of tightness, a lot of, and the first couple of weeks when we're working through how we're going to present things. I mean, I had to breathe a lot. I had to just keep
going back. See.
Yeah, just come back to the breath. Because that breath, I say that a lot when I'm leading meditation, the breath connects us mind, body, and spirit. But it's true. It brings us into that oneness where we can choose.
Mm-hmm.
Calms that.
Plus it oxygenates your brain and you can go somewhere else also.
Yeah.
I mean, it's part of it, right?
Yeah, it does. It oxygenates your brain, and it also calms your parasympathetic nervous system, which is the rest and digest.
That's the proof. Uh-huh.
Yes. So from that fight or flight where you're contracting energy, all your blood's going to your extremities so you can run and fight the tiger and all that from that reptilian brain. The reptilian brain influences a lot of that subconscious, things get trauma, different events in our childhood, we get that fight or flight mechanism engaged, and we're in that survival mode. And that's where a lot of that triggered emotion comes from. At one time, when we felt threatened in some way, mentally, spiritually, physically, emotionally, we responded in a way to protect ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Because when we're young, we have no skills. And if we didn't have parents who taught us skills, you just do the best you can.
That is true. When I was getting frustrated, I felt my blood pressure going up. And I thought that it's no reason for getting upset because it's your health. So you might, you have the time, you don't have anything urgent to do. Why don't you just relax?
Just relax.
And it's amazing when you tell yourself that and sit a while, you feel yourself relaxing.
Yeah, and so that's just a perfect example of what we were just discussing about the body, right? The body being the blossom of the mind. In your mind as frustration, felt your blood pressure going up. That's not a good feeling and it's dangerous, and you chose, why can't I just relax? And then now you're here happy and smiling and talking to us.
Yeah,
So.
then I can laugh about it.
Yeah,
well done.
Yeah, but that's it is a perfect example of wholeness right there, you know?
Yes, yes.
Because you made a conscious choice of how to express and how to be heady. Well, shall we spend some time in meditation?
Yes.
I love that. I always like that.
Okay. I mean, are there any final comments? Mark, do you have anything to share?
No, I don't think so. Meditation sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's all just sit back in our chair. Put our feet on the floor. Just let the chair fully support your body. Just feel the weight of your body against that chair. Notice the firmness of the chair, how it's supporting you. And let your spine be erect. Imagine a thread from the very base of your spine coming up through the crown, just pulling right straight, straightening your spine. Together, let's take a deep breath in. And release. With that breath, we make a conscious choice just to let go of any distractions or any stress or frustrations. Let's take a deep breath in again. And this time, let's let that breath out with a sigh through our mouth. Let's begin with Om. Take a deep breath in for Om. Another deep breath for Om. And a final breath from Om. We sit in stillness, giving ourselves a moment to just feel that shift. Feel that vibration of God. We've called it forth with one of the many names of God. Just bring our attention to that space, just an inch around our whole body. Notice the vibration you've created. Chanting Om, choosing to be still, coming into alignment with spirit expressing. You are a unique expression of the Absolute, of God. Now take your awareness a little bit further out to 6 inches around your entire body. Six inches in front of you, 6 inches behind you, 6 inches to the left of you, to the right of you, below and above. Fill this field of awareness with spirit expressing as you. Expand your awareness to 1 foot, to 3 feet in every direction. Six feet, fill the room you're sitting in And then your entire home. Everything in your home vibrating with divine mind. Move out and encompass all of Kerrville, in the state of Texas, the United States, and our entire earth. Our entire earth wrapped, cushioned, held in this vibration of spirit. And moving out from the earth into the atmosphere, into the galaxy, all the way into infinity. You are not all of God, but God is all of you. We sit in this truth. We bask in this awareness, infinite expansion. As we go into the silence. aligned with spirit. Expressing the absolute in our own perfect, individualized way. We're so grateful for the understanding of this truth of our divine nature. And together we take a deep breath in and slowly release, just bringing our attention back into this space and this time. Fully present and fully aware of the very truth of our being. For this truth, we simply say thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. So whenever you're ready, you can move your fingers and your toes and
Bring the iPad I use so you can be seen.
I'm sorry?
I had to put my iPad on the side so I could sit properly. Ah,
Thank you.
thank you.
Welcome. You're very welcome.
Yes,
Thanks for being here this evening.
we thank you. We are very, very graced with your presence.
Oh, and I with yours. I appreciate you and I love you very much. And I hope you just float through the rest of your evening in all your divineness.
Thank you.
Namaste. Namaste. All right. Well, I hope to see you tomorrow evening. We have a nice program. Yeah.
6 p.m.?
Yes, at 6.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Thank
Have
you.
a good-
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good night.
Bye.
Good
Bye.
night.